What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to SeaWorld Productions. It finally happened. The call has been made. Jason Momoa won't be playing Aquaman in the DCU, which is something we'll get into. He got the call about a character he's always wanted to play his entire life, you guys. Lobo. He will be making his debut in the DCU as Lobo in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which starts shooting in 2.5 weeks, you guys. How exciting is that? This is such a massive W for Warner Brothers and DC Studios. They needed another big, ginormous name attached to that film. Millie Alcock, by all right, she's a phenomenal actor, but you needed a big name. And Jason Momoa is that name to really put asses in seats when it comes to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. This is big news. And this is such a big win for James Gunn and Jason Momoa. He stated in multiple interviews he's always wanted to play Lobo. Even when he auditioned for Batman vs. Superman, he auditioned for Bruce Wayne, right? But then he also thought he was going to be auditioning for another character. He thought it was going to be Lobo. Until Zack Snyder was like, Lobo? No, Lobo's not in this universe. You're going to be playing Aquaman. He was like, Aquaman? What? He was like, bro, have you seen what I look like? Have you seen what Aquaman looks like in the comic books? A very different iteration. But this is exciting. I was like, this is such a big, massive win for the film Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. That means this has been kept secret for quite some time. And he's probably already had costume fittings and things of that nature, especially if they start shooting mid-January. This thing is ready to go. This is so exciting. Now, I'm not the biggest Lobo fan. I don't know much of the character. I remember him showing up in Smallville. I think it was like in one of the later seasons of that nature. But I'm like, who is this character of Lobo? Like, what is this? So his special powers are regenerative healing, can withstand exposure to space vacuum, super strength, stamina, and enhanced durability. Super senses, super genius level intellect, which is really interesting to me, large arsenal of advanced weapons, custom built spacecraft, and heavily armored monowheel for ground transportation. His allies are Superman, his enemies are Supergirl. So that means Lobo is probably most likely going to be the main antagonist of the film for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now, you guys, I have the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic book. I'll admit I haven't started reading it yet, and I know I will read it before, this film does come out. So I'm not really familiar with the story as a whole, but apparently it's a very emotional story, a very dark story, very different story, because, Kara Zor-El is so extremely different from Kal, coming to Earth or whatever, and, having a very different upbringing, things of that nature, meeting, the Kents. She didn't have that, that luxury of being found by, the Kents. So her upbringing is very different. So I'm really curious to see how she's going to be so different from Superman. I can't say this word. I can't say that word right now. Hold on. Ideologies. I can't say that word. It's super tongue twister. But you get what I mean. So they're going to be so different tonally and, mentally from each other. You know what I mean? Her upbringing is going to be so unique that I wonder how that's going to affect her relationship with Kal, because she's rumored to be showing up in Superman next year. And I don't know if that's going to be at the end of the film or post-credit scene, but it's going to lead directly into Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, because that is the next slate. That is the next film after Superman. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited. I mean, I had to open up my DC encyclopedia book and go through the whole Lobo stuff. But, Jason Momoa looks just like this character. Identical to the comic book. Like, literally. Like how Sam Jackson looks like Nick Fury in the comic books. That's Jason Momoa as Lobo. They're so identical. I'm really curious to see how Jason Momoa is going to do this. But the bigger question is, now they're going to have to cast a brand new version of Aquaman in the DCU, which we all knew, that we all understood that was going to happen regardless, because this is a fresh take. This is a fresh start to the brand new DCU. So characters like, Superman's been recasted. Wonder Woman's going to be recasted. The Flash is going to be recasted. Batman's going to be recasted. Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, you name it, you guys. It's a fresh take on a brand new universe. They don't want any, unnecessary baggage from the DCEU, which is completely understandable unless you were in the Suicide Squad. That completely transferred over. John Cena You know, it's so funny. They're going to explain how that's going to, you know, how canon that is going to be in the second season of Peacemaker, because we all know that, you know, the Justice League showed up at the end of Peacemaker season 1, and that was, you know, what's his name, Ezra Miller as the Flash and Jason Momoa as, you know, Aquaman. James Gunn said they're going to explain that, so we'll see what happens. But I'm excited. This is a big win for DC. They definitely needed a big name attached to Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Jason Momoa has a big, massive fan base. You know, so this is definitely going to put a lot of butts and some seats for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Like I said, I gotta bring the comic book down this summer around here, and I definitely got to dive deep into it and read it because, you know, a lot of people really love this particular story for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and the fact that James Gunn wanted to base, you know, the first film off this comic book adaptation means a lot. You know, I mean, it must mean that, you know, it's a story worth telling through the lens of live action. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait. You know, they're cooking over there at DC right now. They're cooking hugely. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow starts shooting January 15th, I believe. So they're going to get the ball rolling for this movie. And I can't wait to see first images of how, you know, Millie Alcock is going to look in the suit. I'm really excited about that. Damn, I can't wait. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, headed our way. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys think about Jason Momoa being attached to play Lobo in the DCU in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Thoughts and opinions, post your comments down below. And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching C-Roll Productions. Peace.